Fourth with Illinois, whose 3 losses have been by a total of only 7 points, followed by Ohio State through Northwestern. In the AP ratings, Indiana 2, Iowa 4, down to Illinois 14.
Live from the Assembly Hall in Bloomington, Indiana, America's premier conference presents Big Ten basketball. Tonight, the Spartans of Michigan State take on the Hoosiers of the University of Indiana. This Big Ten basketball telecast is being brought to you in part by Piedmont, America's fastest-growing major airline, by Elanco Products Company, who bring you Treflan and Sonalan for economical, dependable, full-season wheat control and soybeans. Also by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? And by Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you.
From the Assembly Hall in Bloomington, Indiana, the Indiana Hoosiers, #1 in the Big Ten, #2 in the nation, hosting Michigan State. Hi, everybody. Lauren Brown, along with John Laskowski. Indiana has won 17 consecutive games in this building. The last time they lost, it was to the Spartans of Michigan State, John. In fact, Michigan State has won 3 consecutive years here.
Yes, Michigan State's played very well. In fact, Judd Heathcote's 11-11 against Bob Knight and the Indiana Hoosiers. So Judd's had a great record. He says it's pure luck. I think it's a lot more to it than that.
Well, they played earlier this year at East Lansing. It was 31-19 in favor of Michigan State, but then the roof fell in. Indiana shot 65% in the second half and held Judd Heathcote's club to about 39%, the lowest they've been all year.
Michigan State ran out of gas a little bit, and the big difference for Indiana has been Dean Garrett, the Big Ten Player of the Week now. He's getting some rebounds and scoring well for Indiana.
And you just saw a moment ago the 2 head coaches, Bobby Knight of Indiana, over to talk with Judd Heathcote. So it should be a dandy, as they have been the last 3 years here, with Indiana trying to maintain their Big Ten lead. We'll be back with tonight's starting lineups right after this.
Based on letters received at the Department of Transportation, the airline with one of the lowest passenger complaint records is Piedmont. In a recent poll, the airline rated highest in service was Piedmont. And in another poll, Piedmont service came in second, although it wasn't even listed on the ballot, which suggests the greatest service Piedmont performs, serving as role model for all the other airlines. Piedmont, a model of how good an airline can be.
Think back to last year, guiding that combine down the last rows of beans. Coming home, those great yields proved your Sonalan herbicide did the job. Kept weeds down all season long for a lot less money than last sower doing. Yes, like everyone and everything else, Sonalan pitched in to help wrap up a successful harvest. No wonder you'll be using Sonalan again. Soybeans and Sonalan, made for each other.
There's another kind of Ford Tempo, specializing in sheer exuberance. Ford Tempo Sport GL. Its high output engine and road handling suspension tell you it wants to be driven. Ford Tempo Sport GL. Think of it as fun in a distinctively different form. Ford Tempo Sport GL.
Ford, now with a 6-year, 60,000-mile new car powertrain warranty.
3 years they've been training for one race and one goal: to bring home the cup. Budweiser is proud to have sponsored Dennis Conner and the crew of the Stars and Stripes in their quest to bring the America's Cup home from Australia.
A long way from home, but you're not alone, 'cause your country's hopes are set.
Back at the Assembly Hall, we mentioned that Michigan State has won 3 consecutive games here. In fact, in the 15-year history of the Assembly Hall, Michigan State has won more games than any other Big Ten visitor, having won 5 out of 15. Now for our starting lineups, let's go to the PA announcer, Chuck Crabb.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Indiana University welcomes you to the Assembly Hall. Let's meet the starting lineups for tonight's Big Ten game. At forward for Michigan State, a 6'6" senior from Detroit, Michigan, number 23, Vernon Carr. And at forward for Indiana, a 6'6" sophomore from Cincinnati, Ohio, number 20, Rick Callaway. At the other forward for the Spartans, a 6'7" junior from Zion, Illinois, number 43, Bobby Worthington. And at forward for Indiana, a 6'7" senior from Westchester, Illinois, number 24, Darryl Thomas. The Spartan center, a 6'8" senior from Buffalo, New York, number 40, Barry Fordham. In the middle for Indiana, he's a 6'10" junior from San Clemente, California, number 22, Dean Garrett. At one guard for State, a 6'1" freshman from North Judson, Indiana, number 10, Kirk Mans. And at guard for the Hoosiers, a 6'2" senior from Newcastle, Indiana, number 12, Steve Alford. The other guard for the Spartans, a 6'2" senior from Flint, Michigan, number 13, Darrell Johnson. Rounding out Indiana's starting lineup at guard, a 6'1" junior from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, number 23, Keith Smart. The head coach for Michigan State, now in his 11th season at East Lansing, Judd Heathcote. The head coach for the Hoosiers, now in his 16th season in Bloomington, Bob Knight.
Well, those are the starting lineups and coaches for tonight's game. And fans, you can read about all the players and coaches in the Big Ten this year by ordering your copy of the Big Ten Basketball Yearbook. This colorful 64-page publication is a must for every Big Ten fan, especially watching the exciting action here on the Big Ten TV network. To get your book, just send $6 to Big Ten Yearbook, Fisher, Illinois, 61843-0010. Well, some interesting matchups in tonight's game, John.
Yeah, I look for Michigan State. Darrell Johnson, number 13. He's their point guard, 6'1". Really does a good job of pushing the ball up the floor. Smart has got to keep him out of the middle so he can't dump the ball off. For Indiana, Garrett, as I mentioned, is playing very well. Alford is very steady. Indiana wants to try to take the ball inside against a smaller Michigan State team.
All right, Garrett at 6'10" will jump center jump for Indiana. Barry Fordham at 6'8" for Michigan State. There's the series since 1919. 21-game advantage for the Hoosiers. And we'll do it again. Nobody got a piece of it. Our officials, by the way, tonight, Rich Weiler, Ted Hilreed. That's Ted there, and Phil Robinson. Weiler tossing it up, and the ball controlled by Indiana. Smart on the break, and offensive foul against Mans. Mans, an Indiana boy from northern Indiana, North Judson. He's just a freshman.
Made a good play there. The foul goes against Smart, his first, but Mans got back quickly on that one-on-one break off the tap. Just 3 seconds gone in the game.
All right, Johnson. And the ball batted away by Smart out of bounds. Almost a 3-guard offense with Mans in there. Mans along with Carr and Johnson, and that's pretty much the way Michigan State played a year ago with Scott Skiles.
Judd had great success. Skiles was a great leader, of course, and he's like that offense. Michigan State's a streaky team. They'll go 5-6 minutes and they won't miss a shot, but they've had a tendency to run out of gas this year. What happened in the first game against Indiana? Worthington gets it back out to Mans. Indiana in a man-to-man. Alford guarding Mans. Vernon Carr over Thomas. No good. Tip no good by Fordham. Indiana with the ball. There's Garrett. He's done an excellent job rebounding. He's really been the glue for Indiana here in the last week against Illinois and Purdue, both victories. Back 34 points, 19 rebounds, and 11 blocked shots
for Garrett in the 2 wins last week to be Big Ten Player of the Week as we have a foul.
Indiana needs a good game here out of Thomas. He got in foul trouble early in the first game. Watch him come inside. Now, that's what I mean. Indiana's going to try to push it in and use their strength and height inside, maybe try to get Michigan State in foul trouble. Thomas sat a lot of the first game at East Lansing.
Indiana, as we mentioned, shot 65% in the second half in that state game. Wound up 49% for the game. Smart on the right side to Callaway. Hoosier fans were worried that Callaway might not be able to play. He injured himself in practice yesterday. Hurt the knee. As you can see, it's all bandaged up. Garrett with it. In a little trouble. Inside, nice pass to Smart. What a play.
So Garrett did a good job there, not getting frustrated. He knew the 5-second call was coming, and he still made a good pass. Smart with a quick move inside for the easy layup.
Michigan State. Mans has it. 45% shooter for the year.
Mans is a good shooter. He scored over 30 points a game as a senior in high school here in the state of Indiana. He's an excellent shooter, but he's just having a little trouble. He's just a freshman, though. 45% from the field this year.
Alford wide open. No good, out of bounds. Speaking of Mans, you see in there number 10. He was the first player in a long time in the state of Indiana to be named first team in high school football and basketball, all state from North Judson, Indiana. First player since 1979.
You see the Big Ten's ranking nationally in the three-point shot. Indiana, of course, leading the conference in that stat.
Block shot by Garrett. He leads the league in block shots. Inside to Garrett. No good. Worthington with the rebound for State. That block shot by Garrett a moment ago, his 30th of the year, and Smart picks up another foul. Not too wisely at that. It's his second.
Look at him. He holds 2 fingers up. That's 2 fouls. And as I mentioned, Johnson's the key guy for Michigan State. He can really turn it on and drive that baseline. So Smart with 2 fouls now has got to be careful, but watch to see if he doesn't try to drive the middle. As Indiana helps, he'll dump off to the big guys inside for layups. So that's a big foul now. It started with that first charging foul that Mans took right at the opening tap.
Michigan State coming off a great shooting performance against Minnesota Saturday when they hit 60.5% of their field goals.
Play stopped now. The other end of the floor. The net's tangled up a little bit in the rim.
They're going to have to get a ladder.
It looks like they are. Here comes the ladder.
And going
well, they may not need a ladder. There's ingenuity. That's right. It's a good hand.
Well, you don't have to go to Caltech to have ingenuity, I guess.
Well, it might have
Indiana.
A little bit of cheering doesn't hurt either for the home team.
You mentioned Indiana, or rather Michigan State, did not shoot well against Indiana. Only 38.6. They're low for the year at East Lansing. Worthington to Johnson. Johnson guarded by Smart. Just mentioned Smart already with 2 fouls. And the shot no good. Callaway with the rebound. Johnson chasing Alford. He's open. But Johnson right there. Michigan State in the man-to-man. And Garrett with it. Johnson almost took it away. Callaway to Alford. And the ball batted away, but he recovers.
Pretty good defense by Michigan State. They recovered well. Alford tried that shot. Michigan State helped.
We've got a foul. And it's going to be against Johnson.
That's his first. You can see Alford used that shot fake real well. He did a lot last week against Illinois and Purdue. He gets the defense charging at him, used that shot fake, and then drives around it.
We've played 3 minutes, only a basket apiece for Indiana and Michigan State. Michigan State, their first game, played a box and one with the one man on Alford, and that didn't work too well as Alford. Now only 1 point behind Joe Barry Carroll in the Big Ten career point race. Worthington, in and out. Rebound, Vernon Carr. Off the glass, we have a tie game.
Michigan State's a very good rebounding team. They don't seem to be that big and strong inside, but they battled Iowa 30-30 in the rebound margin. Iowa's just been overwhelming their opponents in the Big Ten in that rebound stat. So Michigan State's slippery there.
Alford open, 2 straight baskets. Well, only one team in the Big Ten this year has out-rebounded Michigan State, and that was Ohio State. Johnson ties it up.
See how quick Johnson is. He can hurt you. That's his first two. But with him and Skiles in the backcourt last year, you really couldn't help off either one. They're both excellent shooters. But he likes to drive. He pushes that ball up the floor. That time on the baseline, he got the jumper.
Callaway. They keep looking for Alford. He's open again. Boy, he's just getting a step on Johnson, and that's all it takes.
All right, he works very well without the ball. The key to Alford scoring is how well he moves around picks and without the ball. And then he's ready to shoot as soon as he gets it. That's his third in a row, 6 points.
Inside, Fordham. No good. Partially blocked by Garrett.
Now again, that's been the big difference in Indiana since the first part of the year. Steal by Michigan State.
Callaway couldn't control it. Carr goes all the way and gets the basket to tie it up at 15-20. 8-8.
Carr, a junior college transfer. His second year now. He's a senior at Michigan State. Very smooth. Kind of plays exactly like Callaway. They're both about the same height and weight.
Inside, Garrett over Worthington. No good. Rebound. Out of bounds. It'll be Indiana's ball off the hands of Fordham. And we have a timeout with 15:02 left to be played in the first half and a tie ball game. And we'll be back with more Big Ten basketball after these local messages.
Come to Bell's Greek Pizza for the deep dish Greek pizza famous for its taste, the unsurpassed hot and crispy grinders, or the Greek and seafood salad. And now the 5-ounce broiled spice burger and 5-ounce LTO burger, both topped with cheese, lettuce, tomato, onion, and dressings. Or try the broiled breast of chicken sandwich with lettuce and tomato. Bell's Greek Pizza, across from Michigan State at 225 MAC and 1135 East Grand River.
We're right on the money.
The 1987 Dodge Aries K is right on the money, because right now, for a limited time only, you can get low 3.9% financing or $500 cash back on any new front-wheel drive Dodge Aries K in stock. Get 3.9% financing or $500 cash back on Aries K 2-door, 4-door, or wagon, only at the Dodge Boys.
We're right on the money.
See it at Bill Sneth Camp.
Here's the Indiana fast break. A good steal by Michigan State. Vernon Carr picks it up. Now, he's right-handed. Look how well he dribbles, though, with that left hand. He just beats Indiana right down the floor. Very smooth, and could be a definite NBA player next year.
And Darrell Johnson comes out of the game for Michigan State, and coming in his place, Ed Wright, a 6'6" junior out of Lorain, Ohio.
There's the shooting.
Pretty good by both clubs, 40%, 50%.
Indiana leads the conference in field goal shooting and field goal percentage defensive shooting. So they're on top on both ends of the game there.
Tied at 8. Alford got open. No good. Underneath, Thomas, he got bumped by Fordham. It'll be Michigan State's second foul.
Well, this is the best Indiana's done on the offensive boards. Watch Garrett right there. He's able to tap the ball to Thomas, and there's the foul. That's twice down the floor now. Worthington picks up his first. But Indiana's gone to the offensive board. This is Judd Heathcote.
He was just having a long word with Ed Wright, who just came in the ball game.
High rebound.
Free throw good by Thomas. Indiana by a point. Thomas, a 74% free throw shooter for the year. Got them both. 10-8, IU. Kirk Mans. Vernon Carr. Out high to Fordham. He shoots for the free throw line. No. Rebound, Worthington. Nobody was under the basket but Worthington.
Michigan State drew all the Indiana big men outside and left an easy tip for Worthington.
Thomas to Alford. There's Wright staying right with him. They might do that all night, just bring in different folks to follow Alford around.
Well, Alford's difficult to guard because I mentioned he moves well without the ball. The defense just gets tired. Of course, there's no way to guard him there. Look at Judd. He really does a good job on that bench, directing the traffic. Of course, he coached that national championship team back in '79 with Magic Johnson.
Foul was on Carr. 4th team foul against Michigan State. Here's the lob inside. Good help Thomas misses, tip in. I believe Garrett will get it. 12-10 Indiana. Good defensive help by Michigan State, but Garrett was there for the rebound.
Garrett's playing more aggressively. He doesn't seem to be quite as timid as he was early in the year. And boy, what a difference it makes for Indiana.
Now we've got a switch. With Johnson out, they've got Alford. And we have a walking violation against Worthington. And a couple of changes for Indiana. Joe Hillman will come in for Smart. Mann's going out of the ballgame for Michigan State, and Darrell Johnson coming back in his stead.
This is the first turnover there for Michigan State. Indiana has two. There's Bob Knight. 455 career victories for Bob Knight. 167 defeats.
Michigan State has never led in this game. Indiana's biggest lead right now at 2. Thomas, no good. And the rebound. Michigan State, Vernon Carr. Carr on the drive. 10-footer, no good. He walked with the ball.
Yeah, dribbled that ball and then didn't pick it up before he took those next 2 steps. So that's a travel. Second turnover. Ted didn't agree with that call.
Down low, Thomas off the edge of the backboard. Worthington with him. Gets it out to Darrell Johnson. Young man, an outstanding player, right underneath. And we're going to have an offensive foul after he dished off. Couldn't hold up.
See, Indiana made a substitution. They took Smart out because he had the 2 fouls. Now watch Hillman on Johnson. He knows he's going right in. Alford was right there too, so that's 2 fouls now on Johnson. So that key matchup we looked at early, both those players have 2 fouls. They're looking concerned by Judd Heathcote.
Alford inside. Thomas missed his last couple of shots. Michigan State wants traveling or a 3-second. They get neither one, and the shot is good by Thomas.
See, Thomas had gotten the ball inside. That's his 4th point, but he'd gotten the ball inside and missed the shot. Foul by Indiana, and so he was hesitant to take that shot. He was in the 3-second lane, only 5 feet from the hoop, but he threw that pass out. The second time it came in, he went right ahead with it. That foul is going to go on Callaway. Picked up his first. A lot of fouls here early in the ballgame.
3 team fouls on Indiana. Indiana with their biggest lead at 4, 14-10. And we're going to get a substitution. Young man who always plays well against Indiana, Carlton Valentine, a junior out of Washington, D.C. Went to DeMatha High School. They were rated #1 in the nation.
Last game that Indiana lost at Assembly Hall, Valentine had 21 points. He had 17 in the first meeting this year. Some players do. They just get against the team and they love it.
Indiana with the steal. Hillman. I don't know what he was thinking about. He thought Alford would cut to the baseline, but he was on the wing, and the turnover gives the Johnson to Michigan State.
He got that ball knocked out of his hand.
Ah,
what happened.
That's right.
It looked like an errant pass. Judd doesn't agree, but it's Indiana ball.
Yeah, Johnson went to take the ball in, and they said, nope, Indiana's basketball. Callaway out to Hillman. Alford. Thomas inside, and Callaway, nice job of hanging on to that ball, and what a shot.
Well, there wasn't enough room between the pass and the receiver that time. Callaway did all he could just to come up with it.
We have a foul. The basket will count.
Hey, this is how Michigan State likes to play. As soon as you score, very quickly they come down the floor, and Hillman comes up with a foul. Johnson's the guy that'll kill you. He'll come down so quickly, and now he's got a chance for 3 points. So he really negated that basket by Indiana.
The basket goes by number 13, Darrell.
So it's a 4-point game. Johnson. 889 from the free throw line. Michigan State leading the league in free throws.
Of course, they led the nation last year in free throw percentage, 79.9. They're second this year, trailing Army. So whatever Judd Heathcote does in practice and seems to work in the games, these kids are great free throw shooters.
And they led the nation in field goals percentage last year as well. Not many teams can do that in a year, field goal and free throw percentage. And they rule that Carlton Valentine got a piece of it.
Indiana just not very sharp on offense right now. Of course, they've coming off 2 big games, and often you see a letdown. Of course, the offense just doesn't seem to be.
Thomas threw that one away.
And there you see another turnover. That's 3 now for Indiana.
And we have a timeout. 11:56 to be played in the first half. The Hoosiers leading the Spartans by 3. We'll be back with more first half action after this on the Big Ten Television Network.
Dust off your policies, dig up your bill. Leave it to the good hands, people. Do it right now, or you know you never will.
Come into Allstate and compare our low homeowners rates. You might just save some money.
Check through your files, look high and low. Get down to Allstate, you might save some dough. Leave it to the good hands, people. You're in good hands with Allstate.
A member of the Sears Financial Network.
Hey, could I tap some of your computer expertise, son?
So you finally gave in.
Yeah, for starters, how does the disk fit into the disk drive?
Okay, the Army can train you to program, operate, or fix computers.
What does the printer interface do?
It lets the computer talk to the printer.
They talk to each other. What do they say?
Then there's a telephone modem hookup. And the computer training you get is yours forever.
Like you're not going to be the only computer expert in the family.
For dependable, season-long control of tough weeds and grasses in soybeans, nothing gives you more for your dollar than Tretland. Nothing.
Here's Callaway receiving that tough pass that bounced off his hands. Now watch the shot. That's a 360 spin, 180 spin anyway, as he waited till he turned enough to face up to the hoop. And that is a tough shot. 3-point lead for Indiana.
That gave Indiana a 6-point lead at the time. Now it's a 3-point lead. The telecast of tonight's game is authorized by the Big Ten Conference, intended solely for the private use of our viewing audience. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of the accounts and descriptions of this game without the express written consent of the Big Ten Conference is strictly prohibited. Michigan State trying to get within at least one. A 3-pointer would tie it. Back in the ball game is Wright. Johnson on the other side. A lot of traffic. And out of bounds. It'll be Indiana's ball.
Well, that's that weak side play that a lot of the Big Ten teams run. That one to Carr on the high lob pass. Indiana saw it coming. Garrett got a hand up for Michigan State's 5th turnover.
There you see the turnovers. Michigan State with 5. Callaway inside to Garrett. Dillman, Alford, Callaway, Garrett, and Thomas. In the Indiana lineup. Shot blocked. Carlton Valentine with it. He and Fordham, Johnson, Wright, and Carr in the ballgame for Michigan State. Wright being guarded by Hillman.
Here's a weave. Michigan State likes to use this weave and wait for the defense to make a mistake. And then they'll drive to the hoop or take that jump shot. But you'll see them run that weave quite a bit.
20 seconds on the shot clock. Inside, batted out of bounds by Garrett. That resets the shot clock. No, it won't. It should, though, shouldn't it?
No, they really didn't have control of the ball. It just slapped off his hands. But Garrett has done a better job. That center defensively has got to be like the catcher. He's got to see everything that's going on the floor and then help when he can. And Garrett sees those passes coming in, and he's got better vision now, better anticipation.
Hillman with the steal. Took it right away from Carr. He's open. Makes it.
It's a good pass break. You see, he was one-on-one, decided not to take the shot, kept his dribble alive, and no one picked him up, so he shot it.
Johnson in and out and in for Carlton Valentine. John mentioned he had 17 points against IU earlier in the year, plus 8 rebounds. And we've got an offensive foul on Callaway.
Indiana trying to score quickly. Here's Callaway on the drive. Watch Carr, 23. He stops, and Callaway initiates the contact, the offensive foul.
Kirk Mann's coming back in the ballgame for Michigan State, and Carr will go out. And Indiana's Steve Alford will come in for Callaway. And I'll tell you what, this man, though he was not Big Ten Player of the Week like his teammate Dean Garrett, he really was a big difference in those victories over Illinois and Purdue, as in the 2 games he got 18 points and 13 rebounds off the bench. Johnson, free throw line jumper, good. And we have a 2-point ball, or 1-point ball game.
7 points now for Johnson. You can see he's taken over the game. The last 2 times down the floor, he drove the middle and dumped off for the easy shot. This time he took it on his own, so that's how Johnson likes to play.
Isle can't get in. Wright closes it off for him on the wing. Looking inside, Garrett. Shooting over Fordham, no good. And the ball batted out of bounds by Thomas. Michigan State will have it.
Has trouble with that shot. Watch, Bob Knight said, face the basket. That time Garrett fell away from the shot. He's got to turn and face the hoop and then jump toward the basket. At 6'10", it's going to be tough to block that shot, but yet he still faded away on it.
Michigan State has never led in this game. A basket here would put them out in front.
Johnson will direct the traffic. He'll try to make things happen. Spin dribble there.
He's going against Tillman, and he makes it. And Michigan State, with 6 straight points, has the lead for the first time.
9 points now for Daryl Johnson. It's 3 times in a row down the floor he's been responsible for 3 Spartan baskets.
He had only 13 in the first game against Indiana at East Lansing. Alford, 2-pointer, good.
That's his 8th point. He scored early. Michigan State stops him, but he keeps moving without the ball. And there you see the result.
At one point, he had 3 straight for Indiana. And we have a foul inside on Daryl Thomas, I believe. Yes.
Personal foul, Indiana.
That'll be the first foul on Thomas. 6th team foul on Indiana.
Pretty good-sized kids here inside. Johnson's got the ball again. There it is. See right there, Thomas has got his right arm around Valentine, and that's picked up the foul.
Inside to Valentine, but he was fouled, this time by Garrett. So with 8:54, Michigan State's in the bonus.
Now this is how Michigan State can force Indiana into some trouble, continuing to take that ball inside and draw those fouls. Thomas, as I mentioned, sat out a lot of the first game. Garrett drew 2 early fouls against Purdue, but was able to stick around for most of the game. There's Carlton Valentine. I asked Judd Heathcote, how come Valentine has such a good game against Indiana? He said some kids just get fired up. Of course, Indiana does a good job of stopping the other team's real scores, which would be Johnson, so that leaves the other players open. Valentine's taken some of the slack up.
62% free throw shooter, missed the front end. Hillman. No good, tipped by Thomas. IU by 3.
6 points for Thomas, and Indiana needs a good game out of Daryl.
Hands back in at guard with Johnson. And the turnaround by Valentine, way short. Just hit the bottom half of the front iron. Steve Alford. Hillman inside to Garrett. No good. Not having a good shooting night from inside. Michigan State with the ball. Eddie Wright bringing it into the front court. Johnson, right side. Valentine, shot blocked by Garrett. We said he's had 11 in the last 2 games. He's had at least 2.5 in this game.
Cree Smith in for Indiana. You see the bandage on his right hand. He hurt his thumb. He's back to action now. Good shooter from the outside, and Alford's out of the game now for Indiana.
22-19, Indiana by 3. Their biggest lead has been 6. Michigan State's only lead by 1. Hillman walked with the ball. And a substitution for Michigan State. Worthington comes back in, but we have a timeout. 7:33 left to be played in the first half. And Big Ten basketball continues after these messages from your local station.
Hello, I'm Norman M. Gaffney, attorney and counselor at law. My firm has a proven skill to successfully represent your legal needs. Whether you are the victim of a personal injury, automobile accident, wrongful death, need a will, or interpretation of a contract, we provide a full range of legal services. I believe you are entitled to a clear understanding of all fees in advance. To arrange for a consultation, give our firm a call. I'm Norman M. Gaffney.
We had an ugly situation here recently at Regency Oldsmobile. My cousin Maury wanted to sell cars for us.
Hey, guys, do I know Oldsmobiles? Do Penguins live in the UP?
You see, at Regency Oldsmobile, we have some definite ideas on how to do business.
Hey, the only way to get ahead in the car business is hard sell, gimmicks, personality.
The good news is that Maury does not work at Regency Olds.
Yeah, I got this big encyclopedia deal going anyways.
And you won't find anybody like him. Not at this dealership. Regency Olds, just west of the Hilton on West Saginaw, Lansing.
And our first half Budweiser scoreboard, Indiana 22, Michigan State 19. And you're in tune with Big Ten basketball, America's premier conference.
There's Judd Heathcote. He's got his players right there on the floor. They've got little folding chairs. They just set them right there on the floor. It's a little unusual. Most coaches like to come right to the bench, but look at this record. 5 and 10 in Assembly Hall, including the last 3 straight. Now, that may not look like much, but the next team, the only other teams in the Big Ten have 3. Illinois won 3 times here. Michigan State's won 5 times here. There's Keith Smart and Bob Knight. Keith picked up those first 2 fouls early. There's another score. Iowa with an early lead over Minnesota, 28-15 now.
Johnson. Inside, and we have a foul. I believe it will be an offensive foul on Johnson. That will be his 3rd.
Oh, that's a big foul. He's got 9 points. Darrell doesn't want that call because he may spend some time on the bench now, and he's the spark in the Spartan offense.
And now Alford comes back in the ballgame for Indiana, and Johnson has to go out with 3 fouls.
No, he's not.
He headed to the bench, and Judge said, go on back out there.
I think he's going to make a substitution right away, though.
Isle, the lob into Garrett. He's 2-time, gets it back outside. Back to Garrett. Indiana leading by 3. Puts it up, and he gets the bounce.
He's been open on the baseline, but that half hook shot has not been falling. You see that time he squared up to the basket. He got a lucky roll, too.
Johnson almost lost the handle.
Johnson's got to be careful. You don't want to pick up your 4th foul in the first half.
We haven't had a 3-point attempt here tonight.
No, it's mostly been an inside game.
Good hands by Alford. Bats the ball away. Indiana with it.
7 turnovers now by Michigan State. Make that 8 turnovers.
Alford, 3-point attempt, good.
Oh, is that about 3-point attempts, Lauren?
He must have heard us say no one's taking it, so. And the steal. Indiana with the ball. They lead by 8. And a foul on Mans. And that will put Alford to the line with the 1-and-1.
Boy, Judd's off the bench on that one. Indiana very quickly now down the floor. Alford going one-on-one on Mans. Faked inside, came to the right. There's an arm there on by Mans. And he got the call. That's call for a timeout now. There's a 3-pointer by Alford just as Lauren called it. Alford makes it.
And Michigan State asks for a timeout. 6:24 to go. First half, Indiana on top. We'll return after this on the Big Ten Television Network.
Nothing makes your day like helping others make it on their own.
You bring out the pride we all feel inside.
It's going to be easy next week.
It's more than just the job you do. You make America work, and this but's for you.
Good work.
Here's to you, Beechwood Aged, for that clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
This but's for you.
Last year, Ford Taurus was named Motor Trend Car of the Year. This year, Ford Thunderbird Turbo Coupe has been named Motor Trend Car of the Year. That's 2 years in a row for Ford. In fact, only Ford division has won this award 2 years running. But then, only Ford builds cars like these.
Ford, now with a 6-year, 60,000-mile new car powertrain warranty.
Steve Alford will go to the line. Bob Knight is talking to his troops after the Michigan State timeout.
Judd Heathcote had to take that timeout, slow this game down a little bit. That puts Indiana in the bonus. And Alford, their best free throw shooter at the line. In fact, the best free throw shooter in the Big Ten right now, 91.3%.
Plus, Johnson is on the bench with 3 fouls. George Papadakis has come in for Michigan State. And a rare miss by Alford. Michigan State with the ball. Vernon Carr working on Big Smith. Eddie Wright.
Here's the weave.
And he couldn't control it. Smith to Alford. And mistakes are just killing Michigan State.
That's their 9th turnover. And Smith did a good job of getting that ball to Alford, who the 10th turnover now, as Alford was ahead of the pack.
29-19. Mans, a high arching shot, and that stamps a string of 11 consecutive points by Indiana.
Boy, what a pick by Papadakis that time on Alford. He really didn't see that and really caught one, left Mans wide open.
Alford is fouled by Wright. He'll go back to the bonus. Alford's season high this year, 33 points at Michigan State. And here tonight, he's sitting on 13 with 5.5 to go in the first half.
I mentioned he's inching up that Big Ten all-time scoring leaders chart. There he makes a free throw. That's his 14th. He is also, of course, moving up Indiana's all-time list.
He's already passed Joe Barry Carroll for most points scored in Big Ten play. But overall totals, he's 42 behind Carroll coming into tonight's game and 40 behind Scott Skiles. Mans, nice move. Open to right, but misses. Garrett with the rebound. Smith. Smith, Alford, Garrett, Thomas in the game right now with Isle for Indiana. And Mans picks up his second foul. Michigan State with Mans, Wright, Carr, Papadakis, and Worthington, I believe. We're going to get a substitution. Mans comes out. And Todd Wolf out of Mount Prospect, Illinois, a freshman at 6'5", comes into the ballgame.
Alford at the line again. I mentioned he's just past Mike Woodson.
Well, if you saw Arlington Heights for the young man, that's right. But he also went to Mount Prospect High School. He went to both. They closed one and he went to the other.
Alford now the second on the all-time IU scoring list, and he will catch Don Schlunt with about 88 more points, less than that now, so he should become the all-time leading Indiana scorer before his career is over.
12-point lead for Indiana, their biggest. We had a tight ball game at one point. And since Michigan State took the lead at 19-18, they've been held to one basket in the last 4 minutes and have been outscored 15-2.
A lot of fouls here early still. Both teams in the bonus early. A lot of stopping the action. Of course, you don't
on Smith.
Don't want to foul Michigan State the way they can hit their free throws. Johnson, of course, highly responsible for their great free throw shooting effort, but see Vernon Carr not bad at 77%. His 5th point.
28 out of 36 from the line coming into tonight's game. And he gets them both, a 10-point ball game. Indiana with the ball in the lead. They try to win their 4th consecutive conference game and their 18th consecutive home victory going back to last season. Told you the last team to win here was Michigan State. Alford. Get a foul. And it's going to be on Bobby Worthington.
Well, Alford's really working on drawing those fouls. That's 2 on Worthington now. He's playing off the dribble, and he likes to go to his right. Here he is working on right. He gets around him. Valentine has to come to help. And there's the bump right there. An off-balance shot is what he had to throw up there. But now he gets a chance for the 1-and-1.
Alford in the first game against Michigan State, 11 of 19 from the field, 8 out of 8 from the free throw line. Missed his first free throw attempt tonight, but has not missed since.
Got one.
4:50 to be played. First half.
Good rhythm there on that free throw. Surprisingly to himself that he missed that first one. Only his 5th miss here in Big Ten play. He was 42 out of 46 coming into the game.
Right. Out to Carr. We got a little pushing inside, and it's going to be on Garrett against Papadakis.
Boy, again, the real battle's been inside on both ends of the floor. Watch Garrett now working inside. Here comes Papadakis. See, they get their arms tangled up with each other, and usually that foul is going to go against the defense. Garrett picks up his second, and he's going to sit down.
Callaway back in the ballgame. Papadakis has been at the line 6 times this year. He has made 4. Valentine comes in for Worthington for State. Fordham ready to come back, but the man he was going to replace is at the free throw line. Papadakis, a 7-footer from Don Mills, Ontario, Canada. He went to Syracuse, then transferred to Michigan State. No good. Thomas with it. Indiana by 12 with the ball. Isle. Alford's fun to watch without the ball. He is constant motion. Unless he gets open. Doesn't get open by much, but enough.
Well, he just got a step away from Ed Wright, and Wright at 6'6" nearly blocked that shot with that long reach, but Alford able to hit it.
14-point lead for the Hoosiers. Wolf makes it. Nobody raised their hand for 3
He must
points.
have been right on the line.
Yeah.
Wolf wanted 3 there, but he must have had a foot on the line, and he gets 2 points.
37-25. Batted away by Valentine. Indiana maintains possession. Galloway. Isle dropping low. Now he'll switch with Thomas goes low.
Watch the pick now for Alford. Let the ball reverse the other way since Steve wasn't open.
Shot clock at 15. Galloway. Shot clock at 8. To Thomas. He misses the 5-footer. Papadakis with the rebound. Knocked out of his hands and out of bounds by Alford. It'll be Michigan State's ball. Now Fordham comes back in the game for Papadakis.
Boy, look at that score. Iowa really pounding in Minnesota now. That's at Iowa City, up 20 points now in the first half.
Iowa has lost 2 of their last 3 ball games. .3:15 to be played, first half. Michigan State with the ball down by 12. Todd Wolf. Carr goes baseline, passes it in a lot of traffic, and fortunately for Michigan State, it seemed like everybody from Indiana had their hand on the ball, went out of bounds, and the Spartans maintained possession. Sometimes you just get yourself so tied up down there and all that traffic.
Exactly.
You can't get out.
Michigan State got a break there.
Carr. Indiana man-to-man throughout. Right. Inside Worthington off the glass.
And Michigan State's effective. When they pound that ball inside, that's Valentine's 4th point. It's too late to guard these guys in the Big Ten when they get the ball right on the block, and Indiana's finding that out today.
Thomas inside. State's in his zone. Gilbert makes it. 39-27. State, Wright and Wolf. Carr, Valentine and Fordham in the line. Off-balance shot, it goes.
It's 4 now for Wolf, and you're right, Lauren. He just really didn't have much else to do and had to take that shot. Still 10-point game.
Doesn't take the shot, he's going to walk with the ball.
2-3 zone by Michigan State. They've used it now 3 times down the floor. Got to keep their eye on Alford, though. He'll stay behind that 3-point line and get that ball swung around to him. See him inch up there a little bit as the ball's reversed. He's looking for it.
Alford right there, 3-pointer, good.
Interesting shot that time. A good camera work because you can see him getting his feet ready. When that ball came around, his feet were already in a scoring position.
And we've got a foul on Indiana as 3 people hit the deck. Hillman, Thomas, and Carr.
Personal foul, Indiana, number 4.
Here's the play inside. Watch Hillman. He's trying to drive on Carr, and you just need to have a step. Carr was able to get that half step. Thomas was in good position to take the charge, but Hillman made the bump before Thomas took the charge.
2 free throws for Carr.
Minute 29 to be played. First half. Carr from Detroit Cody High School went to Highland Park Junior College before matriculating to Michigan State.
He's also quite a tennis player. He lettered 4 years in high school on the tennis team. You can see he's got that smooth gliding ability. And a good shooter.
Got them both. 42-31.
8 points now for Carr.
Gilman, Smith, Isle, and Alford, and Thomas in the game for the Hoosiers, and shot way short for Thomas. Carr on the attack. Open is Wolf. Walk to the ball. He who hesitates travels.
He couldn't decide, Lauren. You're right. That's 11 turnovers. He couldn't decide whether to pop that 3-pointer. Probably what he should have done, of course, was take it because Michigan State's down 11, just a minute 8 left in the half. And you get that indecision, and look at the turnovers now. 11 for Michigan State, 5 for Indiana, and Indiana's capitalized with 9 points off those turnovers.
State's a 37% shooting team from the 3-point line. Indiana, Illinois, and Michigan, the top 3 in the conference. Thomas inside. Missed again from in there. Carr. Can't get in. Pass inside. Batted away by Isle into the hands of Alford.
12 turnovers, and Alford looks at the 45-second clock, saw it was off, so pulled the ball back out for one shot. It's a good, smart play. Indiana's going to play catch probably till about 15, maybe 10 seconds, and then get the offense. And now the crowd coming alive a little bit. They've been quiet today.
14-point lead has been the biggest lead for Indiana. They're up by 11 right now. As you can see, the clock winding down. Thomas will try again. This time he misses again from inside. Hillman's shot partially blocked. Thomas underneath gets it at the buzzer. And Indiana will take a 13-point lead to the locker room. So the end of the first half with the score, Indiana 44, Michigan State 31. We'll be back with halftime activities after this.
Now here tells me I got a real good shot at a 600-pound marlin. I better, because he's charging me an arm and a leg for the privilege. But with Piedmont's low winter fares, I figure I've already saved a bundle. So whether you want to go deep sea fishing in Florida or ice fishing in Minnesota, just...
Number 12, Steve Alford with 24 points. Number 24, Gerald Thomas has 8 points. Number 44, Joe Hilton has 4 points. Number 22, Dean Garrett has 4 points.
Time now for the Budweiser Big Ten Update. For all you do, this Bud's for you. Dean Garrett, a junior from San Clemente, California, his first year in the Big Ten out of San Francisco City Junior College, the Big Ten Player of the Week. What numbers he put on the boards? 33 points, 19 rebounds, 11 block shots as Indiana defeated the Illini in Purdue here last week in back-to-back games and thus named the Big Ten Player of the Week by AP and UPI. Our congratulations to Dean Garrett. And now this word from the...
It could be any time now.
No, Bill had to leave. Can I help you?
A friend is counting on
We need copies by 4:30. I'll cover it for him. Not a word.
you. You keep on coming through, 'cause you make America work, and this one's for you.
Here's to you, Beechwood Age, for that clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
This one's for you.
The Big Ten Update has been brought to you by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. At halftime, Indiana 44, Michigan State 31. But 24 of those 44 points by the Hoosiers off the hands of Steve Alford as he's worked hard to get open, and when he has, he's taken advantage of it. Well, the thing I got to wonder about is Thomas. He has missed some really easy shots. Is it a matter of just being off balance in the lane?
It looks like he's floating through the air a little bit, and that has hurt him. But back to Alford, Lauren, I'll tell you, to score that many points and not just dribble, shoot is amazing. He works hard without the ball, and when he gets it, he releases right to the hoop, and of course, he's shooting well today.
Well, his career high, or season high, I should say, 33 against Michigan State. We'll be back with more halftime activities after this word from your local stations.
Behind every loan we make is a story, and behind every story, a dream. At First of America, we've become one of the Midwest's biggest bank companies by being one of its biggest lenders, all on a local level. In nearly 200 communities around the region. For a change of scenery, a change of pace, home improvement, self-improvement, ways to get around, ways to get away. It's the stuff that dreams are made of. First of America. We're community banks first.
We had an ugly situation here recently at Regency Oldsmobile. My cousin Maury wanted to sell cars for us.
Hey, guys, do I know Oldsmobiles? Do Penguins live in the...
6-point margin.
A lot of scoring this year in the conference. Look at this graphic we have on a scoring differential. These are how much more the teams are scoring per game than they did last year. As you can see, there's only 2 teams in the negative. Minnesota, one of them, of course. That's pretty good for the teams that they have back. And look at the conference. Their average is 4.3. Michigan State is the one team that's down, 6.9.
And Wisconsin at 1.8. But everybody else is plus. And Minnesota and Wisconsin, a couple of good games can be that.
Now look at this. 80 points now has been scored last year. 34 teams scored 80 or more. And look at already, in just 45 games, there have been 24 teams score 80 points or more. So the league's really turned now to more of an offensive scoring league.
And that's the impact of the 3-point play. And that's the big difference. And that's the big difference also in the point differential from a year ago. Now, the top teams, Indiana has 4 games on the road and 5 here at home. Iowa, 4 on the road, 5 at home. Purdue has 5 road games, 4 at home. Illinois, 4 on the road, 5 at home. And then Michigan, 5 on the road and 4 at home. And right now, you'd have to say Indiana in the driver's seat. Mainly, they've got a 1-game lead. We'll be back with more halftime activities right after this. From the Big Ten.
Ford announces a new 6-year, 60,000-mile powertrain warranty on all new 1987 Ford cars. And you can now get 3.9% financing plus up to $600 cash back on Tempo, Escort, and Mustang. Combined with option package discounts, you can save up to $1,558 on Ford Tempo, $1,335 on Ford Mustang, and $1,294 on Ford Escort. Ford value, better than ever.
Aggressor tank spotted.
You not battle drill. You need horsepower. Firepower.
Your airline. Now taking a look at our stats at halftime. Indiana leading 44-31.
Now this is where it's deceiving. Look at the field goal percentage. Michigan State's got the edge there, but look at the shots taken. Indiana's taken 11 more shots. So even though Michigan State's shooting better from the field, Indiana has the advantage there. Free throws 8 out of 9. As well as Indiana's gotten the ball inside, they should have taken more free throw attempts than that. 3-point field goals. Alford's made both of those. Rebounds, a slight edge to Indiana. Turnovers have really hurt Michigan State, and that is what limits the number of shots they can take. And you see the points off turnover.
And they've just changed the rebounds. 14 for Michigan State, only 1 behind. They're your leaders. Johnson with 3 fouls has 9 points. Carr with 8. Mans, Valentine, Wolf 4 apiece. Worthington with 2. Worthington, though, 5 rebounds in the first half. For Indiana, Alford on his way to a career high at 38 against Wisconsin a couple of years ago. He's got 24 points. Thomas, 8 points. He's missed some easy shots, but he's pulled down 5 rebounds. Garrett with 5 rebounds, plus he's blocked 3 shots.
Yep, Garrett's been good about that, getting the rebounds, making the block shots. So that's his importance in the ball game.
We'll be back after this message from America's fastest growing airline, Piedmont.
At Piedmont Airlines, when we serve you a beverage and coach, we do something no other major airline does. We leave you the whole can, something we've been doing for years. It's a minor detail, to be sure, but minor details like this explain why frequent flyers have ranked our service among the best of any major airline. So fly Piedmont.
Oh, miss, you forgot this.
You'll find our attitude most refreshing. Piedmont, a model of how good an airline can be.
Everyone gets one.
Halftime stats have been brought to you by Piedmont, America's fastest growing major airline. Indiana leading at halftime. Iowa's leading at home against Minnesota. And right now, let's take a look at these 2 fine universities, Michigan State and Indiana.
At America's premier land-grant university, we've produced 5 Rhodes Scholars in 4 years, and the nation's most widely used anti-cancer drug. We're the home of the nation's Institute for Research on Teaching and the national superconducting cyclotron. We're proud to be the pioneers of the land-grant commitment serving people. On the banks of the Red Cedar, Michigan State University, East Lansing.
Learn to say no. No, there are some of you out here that are really screwing yourselves up on drugs. Boy, it's a shame. I mean, it is an unbelievable shame. Not only are you screwing yourself up, but because of all that's involved, you're screwing somebody else up, too. And get out of it. Or don't get in it, whichever the case is.
We'll be back with second half action after this.
Hi, everybody. Hey, you know what happened? What happened is exactly what you wanted to have happen. We've got $500 rebates, $600 rebates, $750 rebates, and $1,000 rebates. That's right, the factory finally caved in, and they passed those savings right on to you people. So you come on out here to Harry Holden Chevrolet, get 3.9% financing, a huge selection of cars, and a great group of people to wait on you. Harry Holden Chevrolet in Oakland.
Chevrolet, see us today.
In recent years, most innovations in frozen pizza have come in the area of crust. Thicker crusts, thinner crusts, lighter crusts, crustier crusts. New double-top pizza from Tombstone puts the crust where it belongs, on the bottom of the top. And our crusts are doing double duty, because double top doubles the toppings. Double the meat, double the cheese, double the taste. New double-top pizza from Tombstone. You'll think twice before you buy anything else.
The winter clearance sale at Hatner's Big and Tall Men's Store offers gigantic savings for the tall or big man. Now through February 14th, enjoy special reductions at Hatner's on dress and sports shirts, jackets, hats and gloves, suits, sport coats, slacks, jeans and sweaters. The winter clearance sale with reductions of 20 to 60% now through February 14th. That's at Hatner's Big and Tall Men's Store on Northwind Drive, East Lansing.
Northwestern and Purdue meet Saturday afternoon at 4 right here on your Big Ten basketball station, WSYM TV 47.
Big Ten basketball is being brought to you in part by Allstate. Leave it to the good hands people to insure your home, your car, your business, or your family. And by Elanco Products Company, who bring you Treflan and Sonalan for economical, dependable, full-season weed control in soybeans.
Now, watch Alford now. Watch his feet. See how he's got him already set toward the basket. He knows he's going to swing the ball around. Now, he's getting ready. Okay, now look, he's got his feet ready. Step right into the shot. That saves him about a half a second that his feet are already pointed toward the basket, and that enables him to get that shot away. 24 points, 2 steals, and that's how he does it.
All right, Michigan State only lead in the first half was 1 with 9:42 to go. Indiana then ran off 11 in a row. Their biggest lead was 14 with 4:21 to go. And here at halftime, 44-31.
When I mentioned at halftime, Lauren, that Indiana should have taken more free throws in that half, look at that record at Assembly Hall for Indiana. What I meant was Thomas is floating through the air instead of taking the ball strong to the hole. If he goes strong to the hole, chances are he's going to get fouled, and he will shoot free throws. He made only 2 free throw attempts in the first half, so it's not that the officials aren't calling fouls. It's that Thomas isn't creating enough activity inside toward the hoop to merit a foul being called.
Fordham was open down there for a moment. Michigan State going with their original starting 5 of Carr, Johnson, Manns, Fordham, and Worthington.
Here's the weave. You see how Carr got open.
And we have a foul. It's going to be on Garrett.
See what that weave does. It kind of puts you to sleep. You think your guy's going to drive over, hand to the next guy. He's going to drive back. And that's how Carr can fool you. He got the defense leaning and then quickly drove in. That's 3 fouls on Garrett. So here you're 25 seconds into the second half. Garrett comes out of the ball game picking up his 3rd foul. Of course, Keith Smart with 2 fouls still on the bench. So good smart play that time by Carr.
Carr 5 for 5 from the free throw line tonight.
He's got 9 points now. Tied with Johnson now for team high, 7th. Big Ten in percentage.
Indiana with the ball by 11. Hillman, Isle, Alford, Thomas, and Callaway in the lineup for the Hoosiers. Alford looking inside. Thomas dishes it back out. Now back in. There he went straight up as you suggested he should, John, but still missed, but did not get fouled.
His feet were a little off balance that time, but you can see Indiana still wants to go into him.
Johnson shooting over Thomas is good. Michigan State has come out and scored the first 4 points of this second half.
That pulls him right back in. That's 11 points. You can see how valuable Johnson is on the floor for the Spartans.
Isle inside to Thomas. Thomas in that first half was 3 for 11. He's now 3 for 12. Certainly not his best shooting night of the year. Hillman. Callaway. The half flip gets the bounce. And Indiana gets on the board for the first time in the second half. And the drive. Carr with the basket, and he is fouled.
That's twice now Michigan State's been able to do this. An Indiana basket, and a fast break off the basket. A layup is scored, and free throw. Look at the score now, 51-27. Iowa at halftime, easily over Minnesota. But that's how Michigan State loved to play last year. They'd score so quickly against you, and they were a good shooting team from the outside. Bob Knight not pleased at all with his team getting back on defense.
Carr 6 for 6 from the free throw line. And that is his first miss. Hillman with it for Indiana. Big games tomorrow night. Michigan at Ohio State. Wisconsin will be at Purdue. And Northwestern will be at Champaign to take on Illinois. Hillman. Callaway. Alford gets it down to Thomas. And he is fouled by Fordham. As he makes it, he'll go to the line for the three-point play.
Well, that's better by Thomas. Watch how he takes the ball. Good camera angle here. He's going to fake, come back to the left. Now he leans toward the goal. Look at that. See that? He draws Fordham into him, and that's how he picks up the foul. He kind of double-pumped that shot, but was still able to hit it. He comes up with his 10th point. But he's much more aggressive toward the hoop, and you're going to draw fouls when you're able to do that.
Indiana with 16 points inside tonight, opposed to Michigan State's 8.
Okay. All right.
Free throw no good. Worthington. Here comes Darrell Johnson, senior out of Flint, Michigan. What can you imagine? His team won 3 straight Michigan State titles when he was there. Lucky to have one in some instances is Carr. Puts it in. Carr doing all the scoring basically.
Carr's using his height. At 6'6", Indiana doesn't have anybody tall enough to guard him inside, and he's moving a guard defensively inside and scoring easily.
Remember, Michigan State has won 3 in a row in this arena. Callaway off the glass, used it well.
Boy, there's a smooth move right there. And here's Michigan State on the fast break again.
And got it again.
Well, you just don't have time to even comment about the play when Michigan State comes right down and scores again. So again, they negate that good play by Callaway.
And they're within 9 once again, down by 13 at the half. And State comes up with it. Johnson demands. Good. 2-pointer.
Indiana needs to slow the pace of this game down. It's now 7 points. And this is what Judd Heathcote said. His team's a streaky team. When they get going, they're strong. They just aren't consistent over 40 minutes. Indiana's got to slow the game down now.
So they score off the turnover.
Alford's not been getting the ball in scoring position either. Still with those 24 first half points.
Thomas got the basket.
Again, the move inside toward the hoop instead of falling away. So you can see it's ended up in 4 points for him. 2 baskets. Watch the 5-second call here.
They just made it. Bobby Knight is furious.
Michigan State didn't leave enough players down for the inbounds pass, but they got the ball in or touched by a player within the 5 seconds.
Carr outside. Back into Johnson on the turnaround. He has it. Michigan State back within 7. They've been on a good roll.
Matched his number now. That's 13 points.
Outscored Indiana 14-8 here in the first 4 minutes of the second half. Isle, where he likes to get that ball.
Zoned by Michigan State. Here they come again on the fast break. Indiana back this time. So Heathcote wants timeout.
Second timeout called by Michigan State, 15:55. And make that a TV timeout. State not charged.
Yeah, they will be charged.
Will they? All right.
Let's check it.
They could have had a TV timeout. They did not wait, so they're charged with one. A 9-point ball game with 15:55 to be played. We'll be back with more on the Big Ten Television Network.
Piedmont Airlines presents a phone number so valuable, you'll never forgive yourself if you don't write it down.
A pen.
This is the number that'll get you airfares so low, you'll find them hard to believe.
Case has got to be a pen, right? Hang on, we're looking.
And you'll also get Piedmont service that's been rated among the best in the industry.
Pen? Nothing intended.
So call Piedmont today.
I got it.
What could be simpler?
Foxtail, pigweed, lamb's quarters. When it comes to stopping them, nobody's built a better one than Treflan. Nobody.
15:55 left. Michigan State called a timeout. They would have gotten a TV timeout in another minute, but when you're on the bench, you think of the moment, not a minute ahead. Thus, Judd Heathcote calling the timeout. And Fordham fouls Thomas after Thomas jumped in front of that pass and got it.
Well, for Judd to get that timeout, Lauren, the clock would have had to stop. I think he felt this possession was important enough and called the timeout. Here's the pass to Fordham, and it doesn't work. Whatever play he set up at the halftime or at the timeout, Indiana foils the plot with Michigan State's 13th turnover. Now Indiana ball.
Carlton Valentine back in the ball game for the Spartans.
Zoned by Michigan State, 2-3.
Alford, three-point attempt, good. He has made 3 of those.
3 out of 3. That's how many Indiana's taken. 27 points now for Alford.
Carr. Well, 12-point lead for Indiana. They led by 13 at halftime.
And this is a critical part of the game, and I think that's why Judd called timeout. His team was at 9, and they could have got to 7. And as he admits himself, they're a streaky team. They can't get any farther behind.
Valentine with the basket. A 10-point game with 15 minutes exactly left to be played. State coming into today's game 3-6 in conference play. Indiana at 8-1. And a battle for the loose ball. Mance has it and loses it. And it will be Indiana's ball on the alternated possession rule. Alternating is the proper terminology. And Phil Robinson wiping up some of the moisture. Indiana will take on Michigan here Sunday. Michigan State moves on to play in Columbus against Ohio State. And Ken Redfield, a freshman out of Chicago Weber High School, comes in the game for the first time. And Carlton Valentine, who has played well throughout his career against Indiana, not having one of his usual games against the Hoosiers. Hillman. Inside the aisle, he backs it out. Underneath, Callaway too far, gives it to Isle. That's Steve Isle at his best. Plays that inside game, quick to the basket.
20 inside points now by Indiana, 10 to Michigan State. So Indiana's doing a better job since the half of converting the passes they received inside.
Indiana still playing man-to-man. They'll switch occasionally. Johnson over Callaway.
You know, we talk about Thomas having to lean to the basket. That's twice now Johnson's jumped away, but it seems the guards have a better feel, and they don't want to get that shot blocked, so when they fall away from the hoop, they seem to make that more often. That's twice now Johnson's been able to do that. He's got 15 points.
Alford. Indiana starts to move. Alford, three-point attempt. He is 4 for 4. Last Wednesday night, he was 0 for 4 against Illinois. Here tonight, he is 4 for 4. And Michigan State takes another timeout. 62-49. Indiana leading. Big Ten basketball continues after these messages.
Why do people like doing business with auto owners insurance agents?
I'll tell you why. My daughter has a problem with her teachers, and my son has a problem with my dog. Yes. And a lot of people have a problem with the shrimp Wichita. But when I wanted to save money on my home insurance, my auto owner's agent said, no problem. I love it when he talks like that.
Contact the David Chapman Agency at their new office, 420 South Waverly. For business and personal needs, phone 485-7231.
Excuse me.
Sorry, looks just like mine.
Well, here's my Cougar XR7.
Great cars, aren't they?
I love mine. Don't tell me. Your Cougar?
I always wanted one. Peppy, aren't they?
Sure, V8 engine.
Yeah, of course.
And I love the way it handles.
Yeah, love it.
Well, nice talking to you.
Excuse me? Oh, sorry. Great car. Gotta get one.
New Mercury Cougar, only at your Lincoln Mercury Mercour dealer.
Gotta get one.
That's 2 3-point plays. Didn't help.
Yeah. The Budweiser scoreboard shows Indiana 62, Michigan State 49. And this is why Judd Heathcote called that timeout. Johnson staying too far away from Alford as Alford converts his 4th 3-point play of the ball game. He called a timeout right away and said, Darrell, you have got to stay closer to Steve Alford from the outside. That'll get him. Look at the shooting in the second half. First half, not too bad. Michigan State 8 of 8 from the field. Indiana's 8 of 10. So Michigan State doing all they can, but they still can't catch up to Indiana, partly due to Alford's 3-point shooting.
Well, Alford in the first game had 33 of the 79 points for Indiana, and here tonight he has 30 of the Hoosiers' 62 points.
Of course, his career high is 38, so he may get a shot at that.
Mans, along with Carr, Johnson in the ball game. Also Ken Redfield. Openers Mans and misses. Galloway with it for Indiana. Garrett got his 3rd foul early in the second half and has been on the bench since that time. Johnson of Michigan State sat out much of the first half with 3 fouls. And we have a foul. I believe it'll be on Mans. It is. That'll be his 3rd.
Michigan State still in that zone. Indiana will probably take a little more time now when they run that offense. Of course, unless they get the ball to Alford, he's just shooting well today. First half, he was 8 out of 10 from the field himself.
Galloway. No good. Thomas with it. Takes it.
It's 14 now for Darrell. Again, a move to the hoop, and he gets a good roll.
Biggest lead for Indiana, but Johnson silences the crowd with a basket.
It's Johnson and Carr really doing all the scoring here for Michigan State in the second half.
And the alley-oop does not work.
He only got one hand on it that time and just didn't get good control of it. Here's Carr one-on-one.
Mans, as he has been most of the night, guarded by the senior, Alford. Now they switch. Alford.
Here's the weave.
Johnson, and they just pick up the man who's got the ball, and we've got a foul, and it's going to be on Thomas of Indiana.
There's that spin move again. Carr on the weave. He uses that spin and then drives the lane. Watch it now. Here's the weave. Dribble, dribble. You think he's going to go. You lean, and all of a sudden, boom. He comes right down the lane. Like Thomas left his feet there and picked up the foul.
I like the way Indiana plays the defense. In that when they do the weave, they just keep a man there instead of trying to follow that man all over and get caught. With 2 men guarding one and the guy with the ball, nobody on him, they just stay right there and wait for the weave to come to them. Mans out to Johnson. Open is Mans. He has it.
See, Johnson's a smart player. That's Mans' 8th point. But Johnson can sense when he's getting 2 players on him, and that leaves somebody open. Last year, of course, it was Skiles. This year, it's going to be Mans, and he can hit those open shots all night long.
Into Thomas. He makes it. 2 baskets in a row for Thomas. He's starting to come on now, Chuck.
He's got 16. I think it's obvious that Coach Bob Knight took Thomas aside and said, hey, you're falling away. You got to move to the hoop, and you can see how effective it is. That's his 4th field goal in the second half.
Man's a freshman. Johnson. Fade away, no good. Carr underneath. Rejected by Thomas. Steve Alford with it for the Hoosiers. 11 minutes to be played. Indiana with the ball and a 13-point cushion. Inside, couldn't be handled by Callaway. Johnson driving on Hillman. He is fouled, and the basket would have counted had it gone in.
Well, he really got a tough shot away, nearly hit it. Bob Knight saying, slow down now. We don't want to get in a running game with these guys. But a good foul as Johnson was just about to go around Hillman and picks up his 3rd. Judge Reich, a little traffic. Watch Carr now. Watch Thomas. Carr doesn't see him there, and Thomas hits the top of that ball on the block. Now here's Johnson making a drive to the hoop. And just tries to throw that shot up there. He's going to get the foul, though. 2 shots at the line.
Valentine back in for Michigan State. Redfield takes a seat.
Indiana still with Garrett and Smart both on the bench, 2 of their starters. Johnson, of course, an excellent free throw shooter. That's 18 points for him.
Johnson's high this year, 42 against BYU. That's a career high. And Wright comes back in for State. Johnson coming off a 31-point effort against Minnesota. He also had 31 against Purdue earlier in the year. First conference game, as a matter of fact. 66-55. Indiana with the lead. Thomas is fouled. And it's on Wright.
Looked like he was going to pass that off as he saw a player open inside. That's 2 on Wright. Let's see what the officials call. Michigan State's not in the bonus. And they are going to call it out of bounds, although Thomas wanted to go to the free throw line.
They like flashing a man in the lane, don't they? And it's generally Thomas.
Yes. There's the cards that Michigan State uses. It looks like I would assume that's man-to-man defense. Some substitutions now.
And Todd Wolf comes in. He was redshirted last year. So he's a sophomore scholastically and athletically a freshman. Alford on the inbound. Hillman has played a lot of basketball here tonight. 3-point play, no good. Thomas puts it in. Alford had been 4 for 4 from 3-point range before that miss.
18 points now for Thomas. He's doing all on hard work inside.
Johnson, a 3-point attempt is no. And Alford takes the ball away from Fordham. And the behind-the-back pass by Alford does not please Bob Knight.
Now, if Indiana didn't need that, looked like he was going to one-on-one. 8 turnovers now for Indiana, 13 though for Michigan State.
Papadakis is back in the game. Fordham out.
Bob Knight's record, Indiana, 353 wins, 117 losses, and he's been the youngest coach in NCAA history to win 200, his 300th game, and his 400th game. And
oh, what a play! As Johnson got behind Isle. Isle a little upset at himself as he had a lull, and Bob Knight up. The Indiana bench not very happy. 68-57. And State within 11.
They've been able to keep it right there at 9, 10, 11 points, and that's where they can be dangerous.
Nice play by Alford on the drive. 70-57. He's got 32, 1 less than he had earlier in the year against State. Inside, Valentine uses the glass.
See, Valentine's got a big weight advantage there against Callaway, and he just kind of bullied him inside. That's 8 points for Valentine.
Mentioned State's only been out-rebounded in the conference once this year. That was by Ohio State. And the ball kicked by Wolf.
That resets the 45-second clock, but usually on a pass that's deflected by the defense, that would not. But in a kick situation, it always goes back to 45.
Vernon Carr back into the game. Todd Wolf sits down for Michigan State. Point ball game. Indiana with the lead of the ball. 9 minutes left to be played. And Thomas working on Papadakis, and the foul. charge to the young man from Ontario, Canada. So Thomas this time will go to the line.
That's one of the things Indiana worked on this week in practice, was making Daryl Thomas more effective in the games. He's strong, he's experienced, and he needs to do some more things out there, and they've really made it a point to push that ball inside to him. You can see he's already 4 points over his season's average. It's in 19 now for the game.
Got them both. 72-59, Indiana back with a 13-point lead that they enjoyed at halftime.
Little zone here by Indiana.
First time we've seen that in the last 3 games that we telecast down here. And the flip by Valentine, no good. Hillman. Offered inside to Thomas. And Papadakis stayed with him, got the missed shot.
See, Papadakis has got the big height advantage, and he made the right play there. Made Thomas change his shot so that he missed it.
Carr gets it outside. Right back in the game. And we have a foul on Valentine for elbowing somebody, and Hillman going to the deck.
Personal foul, Michigan State.
All right, watch the play inside now. These are the big guys. Steve Isle is guarding the big 7-footer. See how they just try to get an inch, and then they try to use their muscle to use that inch to make it a foot, and then get an advantage for an easy shot. Not that time.
72-59. Thomas. Isle doesn't look to shoot unless he's down low inside. He's got that quick move to the basket. And the shot rejected by Wright as he blocked Alford's attempt. Pass to Valentine, and he makes it. 11-point ball game again.
10 points for Valentine, and this is the way Michigan State wants to play. Up and down the floor, a lot of change of possession and get a quick shot away. Indiana, on the other hand, wants to try to slow it down, but Michigan State right now controlling the tempo.
And batted out of bounds by Johnson. And Mans will come back into the ballgame for Michigan State. But we have a timeout. 7:26 left to be played in this contest. Indiana leading 72-61. You're watching Big Ten basketball on the Big Ten Television Network.
Piedmont Airlines presents a phone number so valuable, you'll never forgive yourself if you don't write it down.
The Big Ten Conference. Michigan State trying to make a run. The closest they have been here in the second half after trailing by 13 was 7. Now they are within 11, and that the identical record Judd Heathcote has against Indiana, 11-11.
Well, the shooting not nearly as good as it was a couple timeouts ago, but still excellent for both teams. And again, Michigan State's been able to look at 72% for Michigan State.
That's pretty good to me.
But at least they're not. Michigan State's not 8 for 8 anymore.
And it's out of bounds. Hillman. And another turnover. As you see, Bob Knight not pleased. He's 19-12 against Michigan State since he's been here at Indiana University. Mans looking inside. Indiana back in a man-to-man.
Look at that action inside. Both Thomas and Garrett bumping around.
Garrett back in the game.
State trying to get open.
20 seconds on the shot clock. Carr and Johnson. Mans is open. 3-point shot. No good. Papadakis is fouled by Thomas.
Now Papadakis is using that height, that 7-foot tall advantage. Picks up the 3rd foul against Thomas. Indiana not over the limit, so out of bounds to Michigan State. But, well, they're right in. Michigan State is right within scoring distance here. They're down 11, but this game not out of reach at all for them.
Mans outside. Back out to Mans. Carr got Callaway in the air. Back out. Mans open. 3-point attempt, no good. But Carr with the follow-up. And a 9-point ball game.
Right with Garrett that time, and he's got 18. You can hear the crowd trying to come to life a little bit.
Alford. Hillman can't get in.
This is where Indiana likes to look for Alford, but Michigan State's done a good job of keeping him out of the scoring area.
Thomas out to Alford, almost walked. And the shot rejected by Carr, out of bounds. It'll be Indiana's ball under their own basket.
Alford's not been able to get open now since Carr switched off to him. Carr at 6'6" enjoys about a 4-inch height advantage. And there you see he reached right around, blocked that shot by Alford.
Out to Hillman. Alford, nice soft touch. Alford with 34 points for the night. That is his high. Prior to that, 33 against Michigan State and East Lansing.
We talked about guys who like playing against certain opponents. I'm sure Alford loves to play against Michigan State now, averaging 33.5 against them.
You know, just dawned on me, since he's played at Indiana, he's never been on a team that beat Michigan State at home. Papadakis underneath. Gets stripped out of bounds. Callaway.
That's right. Three hands. 3 years in a row.
Yeah,
Michigan State has beaten. It looks like Alford's trying to make a one-man effort here to stop that streak.
Shot clock. No factor right now. Papadakis. He puts it up, a high archer, and he gets his first points of the night. 9-point ball game. Plenty of time for State to come back. 5:06 remaining.
Look at Indiana setting up Alford.
Thomas. No good. And Mans can't handle it. Well, that's a big turnover. Because if State would come down and score, all of a sudden you're talking either a 6 or 7-point ball game.
Now that's hurts. It's only the second turnover for Michigan State here in the half, but it's 14 for the game. Substitutions now.
Worthington coming back for Michigan State. Isle going back in. Garrett coming out. Valentine coming out for Michigan State. And now Ed Wright will check in for Michigan State. And Mans will come out. They're a little confused as to who was coming out.
Johnson thought he was coming out, but boy, State really needs him in there now.
Did a good job. Started the second half with 3 fouls. It's not picked up anymore. Callaway handling the ball outside. Hillman. Alford. No good. Papadakis with the rebound. And Michigan State now with an opportunity to move within 6 or 7. Sounds weird, but there is a 3-point play factor involved. Carr in the lane, gets it inside underneath to Papadakis. Nice assist by Worthington. And folks, we've got a ball game here. 7 points, 4:10 to go.
Michigan State's pounding that ball inside, taking advantage now. They have a height advantage with Papadakis in the lineup. He's got 2 buckets in a row.
4 straight points by Michigan State. Alford out to Hillman. Little weave of their own for a moment.
They're looking for Alford to come off a pick or to go to Thomas inside. There it is.
Thomas no good. Right with it for State. Down court to Carr. 74-69, and Michigan State is right back in this ball game, trying to beat Indiana for the 4th consecutive year here at the Assembly Hall. And we have a timeout. And we'll have more Big Ten basketball after these local messages.
Hi, everybody. This is Harry Holden out of Harry Holden Chevrolet. You know what's happened? Exactly what you've been waiting for. We've got $500, $600, and $1,000 rebates on all our cars. We've got $750 worth of free options on a lot of them, and we got interest rates as low as 3.9%. Now, there's no tricks and gimmicks out here. You all know it. We take great care of our customers. We care about you a lot. Services especially. Harry Holden Chevrolet in Oakham.
Harry Holden Chevrolet. See us today.
The recent flock of phone directories is creating quite a flap with all their promises to make your advertising go farther. But there's one the rest can't ignore, Ameritech Pages Plus. It's the book in nearly every home and office, the book 9 out of 10 people use,
that inspires follow-up action 83% of the time. So if you want your advertising to soar above the rest, we can give you the wings. Ameritech Pages Plus. Next to the phone, there's nothing better.
3:37 to go. The last 3 minutes and 3 seconds. Michigan State has outscored Indiana 10-2 to move within 5.
Here's what brought him closer on a long pass. Carr wide open as he beats the defense down very quickly for 2 points. Michigan State now within 5 points, and Judd Heathcote did a good job keeping the difference right there at 10 points. Look at the timeouts left. Indiana with 3. In hopes that if he kept it around 10 points and his team made a run, they could get in the ballgame. And that's what's happened now. 3:37, they're within 5. Now every possession is very important.
All right, Indiana going with Hillman, Isle, Alford, Thomas, and Garrett back in the game. Run down Michigan State in a moment. Thomas out high.
Here comes a double pick for Alford. Good defense by Ed Wright to stay right with it. Indiana's trying to run a little clock now, too.
Can't get in. And the shot partially blocked by Michigan State's Wright. It'll be Indiana's ball.
Boy, Indiana wanted a foul that time. Wright staying right with Alford. And again, about a 4-inch height advantage for the Spartans there, and they were able to deflect that shot out of bounds. 2:45-second clock for Indiana, so that gives them a little break. See if they use and run that clock off a little bit.
Alford covered up by Wright, gets it out to Isle. Yeah, that was a big block. In that, as you indicated, the shot clock reset.
And now they are going to use some of that time. We're under 3 minutes now.
See how far they lay back on Isle. No one really guards him too close outside, because he's not going to look for the shot. More of an inside game. Good assist man. Hillman.
10 seconds now on that shot clock. Alford's going to have to create some offense.
5-point lead for Indiana. And batted away. The Spartans have it. Right. He walked with the ball. Can you believe that?
Oh, tough play there for Michigan State.
He didn't put the ball on the floor.
Alford came up to take that shot. No one back for Indiana. Michigan State again with the fast break. Judd Heathcote right off the bench. And that would have put the ball game within 3 points, but Indiana's going to get the ball.
And again, they'll work it around and utilize that shot clock.
2:20 left now. You see the game clock in the lower part.
He's the man, State. Can't sit in the zone and let Indiana swing it around, and Papadakis with the foul.
I think that was
Garrett. That'll be a 1-and-1.
Semi-intentional. They want to put Garrett at the line, or really anybody except Alford.
Garrett 11 of 17 in Big Ten play from the free throw line. Did not go to the line in the first half. Mans will come back in for Michigan State.
Substitution for the Spartans, number 10, Kirk Vance.
They come in for Ed Wright.
It's been 3.5 minutes now since Indiana scored a point. They've been stuck on 74. Garrett, of course, made a big free throw against Illinois.
They've been outscored 10-2 by Michigan State. No good. And the ball batted away by Isle. Good hands.
Well, Thomas and Isle teamed up to give Indiana 45 more seconds.
Boy, you take that traveling violation. Had he not walked, it could have been a basket. They could have had the ball there, but could-haves and should-haves and would-haves don't get it.
Well, Indiana's not been able to set up their half-court offense. Let's see what the call is. Again on Papadakis.
Send Garrett back to the line.
Send Garrett right back. Now 4 minutes. Indiana's gone without scoring. 3 on Papadakis, but since Garrett missed the last time, they want to put him right back on the line. Indiana wants an intentional foul as Alford is discussing it with the officials, but I think it's going to be a 1-and-1.
That one right through the net.
Good poise shown there by Garrett. It's pretty strong right there in the shoulders, too. Look at that shot.
Got them both.
There's a whistle there.
I think one of the officials thought there was a timeout.
Or maybe somebody was going to substitute. No.
Well, Fordham was up by the bench. And Then he went back and sat down. He was up by the scorer's table, and I think that's what the confusion was. And at 44 to go. State cannot waste too much time. Carr around Hillman. Nice scoop, but misses. Tip no good. Indiana with a big rebound. Stolen by Worthington to Carr, and he is fouled by Isle.
Well, Thomas had the ball picked right out of his hands as Michigan State comes up with a big play. Watch it now. This is a tough rebound. He's got good control over it. And all of a sudden, boom, from behind, Carr slaps it away. Worthington comes up with a good pass there. Indiana's got a foul, so there's a good play by Michigan State. See if they capitalized on it now. 1:28 left in the game.
Carr having a good night from the line.
See Michigan State really loading up on the free throw line. Should he miss, they need to get that rebound. 2 shots.
Well, you heard the fans reacting, just booing when he was at the line, but you'll never see an Indiana crowd behind the baskets wave to try to distract their opponents when they're at the free throw line. They may yell, but no arm motions.
Keith Smart comes in for Indiana. Garrett sits down. Smart has started the game, but has not played at all here in the second half.
Here's something unusual. Papadakis comes out at 7 feet. He's playing back. You see him backpedaling.
Maybe some kind of press.
Inside.
They're setting up a press here.
Exactly. There it is. Plus, they figure Carr is going to make it. Hillman gets into the front court. We have a 5-point ball game. Michigan State has come roaring back, but Indiana with the lead in the ball.
See Alford trying to control that ball as much as he can. He wants to go to the foul line, but I'm sure Michigan State wants to put somebody else up there.
And we have a foul. It's going to be on Carr.
Number 12, Mr. Shooter.
Personal foul.
And Garrett will check back in for Indiana.
So Indiana's going to make some offensive, defensive substitutions now. They put Smart in on offense for ball handling. They put Garrett in when Indiana will be on defense for rebounding and a chance to block a shot.
There you just saw Judd Heathcote with Tom Izzo, one of his assistants, and Herb Williams. Jim Boylan, the other. Mans comes back in.
Oh, and that foul was on against Alford. He leads the Big Ten in 3-point field goals, 60%. And this is not the guy Michigan State wanted to foul.
Free throw good. He's got 35 points. That's a season high.
See, 2,139 career points, second. And he should be real close now to Don Schlunk, the all-time Indiana University scoring leader.
Minute 10 to be played. State has to set it up in a hurry. They do with Johnson, but he misses. Rebound, Indiana. 1 minute left. Indiana in control right now. And we're going to get a foul on Carr against Alford. All the while, Papadakis was going after it with Garrett trying to get a call, but the officials did not feel that he fouled him, and the Michigan State coaches tell him, wrap your arms around him.
Well, they don't want to give up the two-shot foul, though, so you don't want to make it as obvious as that. But yet the foul goes to Alford first instead of Garrett, so he's back at the line.
Well, I'll tell you what, giving Garrett 2 shots is better than having this young man up there with a 1-and-1, because that's going to be 2 shots. 37, his career high is 38 against Wisconsin.
Good concentration there. 9 of 10, so he's right on his season's average.
And that equals a career high, 38 points for Alford. 38 of the 80. Carr out to Mans. The 3-point attempt is good. And State takes their final timeout.
Michigan State, its 4th timeout.
And we'll be back after these messages from the Big Ten.
This bud's for all that you do.
It could be any time now.
No, Bill had to leave. Can I help you?
A friend is counting on you.
We need copies by 4:30.
I'll cover it for him.
Not a word.
You keep on coming through, 'cause you make America work, and this bud's for you.
to you, Beechwood Age, for that clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
This Bud's for you.
Based on letters received at the Department of Transportation, the airline with one of the lowest passenger complaint records is Piedmont. In a recent poll, the airline rated highest in service was Piedmont. And in another poll, Piedmont service came in second, although it wasn't even listed on the ballot, which suggests the greatest service Piedmont performs, serving as role model for all the other airlines. Piedmont, a model of how good an airline can be.
44 seconds to be played. Michigan State within 6. The closest they've been was 5. But Indiana will have the ball, and you know the Spartans will be pressing.
Yes, they sure will, and they'll want to score as quick as they can if they can get a turnover against Indiana. There you see the Spartans. They're right out on the floor. They do have some stools that they sit on there. Take a little
fold-up
extra time
kind that you use at the beach.
Take a little extra time now.
There you see the manager has about 3 or 4 of them in his hand. All right, Valentine. No, he's not in. He's just on the bench waving to his teammates.
There's the timeouts left. Michigan State out of timeouts now. Full court press, man-to-man. Nobody on the ball out of bounds.
Yeah, they're going to put 2 people, Johnson and Carr, on Alford. And they get it to Alford. They want him to control it at all times.
Now they're looking
74. Shot clock is off. Alford will bring it back out.
Got to watch it closely guarded. Good play by Johnson. Nope, it gets called for the foul.
So Alford will go back to the line.
Yeah, smart play by Indiana. They keep the ball in Alford's hands as long as they can and still try to avoid that 5-second call. And Michigan State really not able to foul anybody else unless to give up a 2-shot free throw, and they really didn't want to do that. So that's 4 on Johnson. Sends Alford to the line. This will be a chance for him to break his career high of 38.
Garrett back in. Well, he came into this game 40 points behind Scott Skiles and 42 behind Joe Barry Carroll. 7th on the all-time Big Ten scoring list, and that is a new career high. I'll tell you, my score sheet only goes to 40.
Well, we didn't anticipate anybody breaking that this year, Lauren. I think you're going to have to get a new score sheet for next game.
Troy Lewis and Dennis Hobson of Purdue and Ohio State, each with 39 this year. And this is the first Big Ten player this year to score 40 in a ball game. And Indiana wants a timeout. With the score, Indiana 82, Michigan State 74. Well, a lot of good action coming up tomorrow night in the Big Ten as Michigan journeys to Columbus to meet Ohio State. Wisconsin will be at Purdue and Northwestern at Illinois. Our next telecast here on the Big Ten Network will be from Lafayette, Indiana, when the Northwestern Wildcats play Purdue Saturday afternoon. Then next Wednesday, you'll either see Indiana at Northwestern, and in fact, that's will be the game, and then next Saturday, Purdue at Minnesota, and there's the final, 78-47, Iowa, the winner over Minnesota.
Lauren, the second half of the season is always very interesting. We're into the start of the second half of the season because each of the teams has already played each other once, which gives them a great opportunity to study that game film. And if you're the loser in that first game, you can study it to try to make the improvements. Of course, if you're the winner, try to keep the same thing going. There's a look at some of the games tomorrow that Lauren just talked about. Illinois now ranked 14th, Purdue number 7. Saturday, Northwestern at Purdue. Wisconsin will be at Illinois, and Iowa in a non-conference game travels all the way to Arizona. Sunday, of course, Michigan at number 2, Indiana.
2 games now. Indiana has scored 161 points against Michigan State. Alford has scored 77 of those 161. Johnson demands.
Michigan State wants that 3-point shot. All 5 players behind the line.
Carr cans it. 82-77, 10 seconds left. And Mance says to the official, hey, I never even touched him, but they said you did. And he'll go to the line again. 40 points for Alford tonight.
Just really overshadowed Vernon Carr. That's 25 points for Carr, and Johnson has 21, but Alford really has kind of overshadowed him with his 40 points.
Carr was credited with 3 points on that last shot, John.
That gives him 27 then.
That's what they've got up on the, yeah, they just announced it to the folks here, and they had it up on the scoreboards.
All right, that gives him 25. That's correct.
And the free throw by Alford gives him 41. Carr with how many points tonight? Did you say, John?
Got Carr with 25 now, Lawrence.
25, that's a career high for Vernon Carr. 42 points, and Indiana calls another timeout with 9 seconds to go. And we'll be back after these words from the Big Ten.
For the Big Ten fan who wants to wear the colors of their favorite conference school, Big Ten Sportswear offers varsity jackets, sweaters, caps, and sweatshirts from America's premier conference. The jacket only $54.95. A cap from your favorite school, $9.95. Order the two and pay just $59.95. Send jacket size and school preference to the Big Ten, Fisher, Illinois. MasterCard, Visa, personal check accepted. Order today.
You know, it's tough growing up these days, but I don't need anyone's pity. I do my best, I make my own decisions, and one thing I've decided is to stay away from drugs. Life's difficult enough without drugs messing up my mind. I know sometimes the pressure gets tough and it's hard to say no, but I've got friends and my teammates to back me up. You've got to say no if you want to get ahead, and it's important to find friends who will back up your decision to say no to drugs. After all, you can't be a hit when you're high.
(84-77), Indiana leading, 9 seconds to go. Steve Alford with a new Assembly Hall record of 42 points. The old record, 41 by Steve Downing on the 1973 team against Illinois. And Alford now also has gone ahead of Scott Skiles and is tied with Joe Barry Carroll of Purdue for 5th place on the all-time Big Ten career scoring list. And he's only about 30-some points behind Don Schlunt, former great Hoosier. Wolf in the game, puts it in. Three-pointers in a row by Michigan State, but not enough as Indiana prevails here tonight, 84-80. And boy, you look at the performance by Steve Alford. What an outstanding performance, and this is only the first time in his career has he and his teammates beat a Michigan State team at the Assembly Hall. The final score, Indiana 84, Michigan State 80. We'll be back with more comments in just a moment.
Someone put a fender in my left front fender.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
10 points. 84-80, despite the fact Michigan State once again out-rebounds an opponent. They've done it all year in conference play other than one game, but Indiana hangs on to win it 84-80. They're now 9-1 in conference play. Michigan State 3-7. Back with a final comment after these messages.
Season and career.
We're right on the money.
The all-new Dodge Dakota is right on the money. And right now, for a limited time only, you can get low 3.9% financing or $500 cash back on any new Dodge Dakota in stock. That's 3.9% financing or $500 cash back on the first true mid-size pickup ever made, Dodge Dakota. Only at the Dodge Boys.
We're right on the money.
See it at Bill Sneth Camp.
In recent years, safer than the sun.
Our next televised game on the Big Ten Network this Saturday, the Northwestern Wildcats in Lafayette against the Purdue Boilermakers, ranked 7th in the nation. Here tonight, Steve Alford's career-high 42 points, a new Assembly Hall record, led Indiana to an 84-80 victory over the Michigan State Spartans. On behalf of John Laskowski, Lauren Brown, and our entire crew, thanks for tuning in. Good night, everyone.
Ezra's trims prices for their winter clearance. Savings up to half off.